Hey everybody and welcome to a new video. My name is Midway and I hope you're having a wonderful day. I sure am. So after a little break that I took with the summer holidays as well as an eye infection that I caught, which took me off the PC as well as my day job for about a week, now I'm finally back into Legend of Mushroom as well as any other videos that I've been doing in this channel. And today we are going to be checking out the new class that came out recently in Legend of Mushroom, as well as the new event that's been out for a couple days now. We'll check out the rewards as well as the ladder and see how people are building the new class. Of course, we'll touch on it again, see what it's like and everything about it, just how good is it really. Nonetheless, before we do so, please go ahead and check out Aptoide if you haven't done so yet. I'll talk a little bit more about that later at the end of the video, and now let's just get into it. So first of all, the new event is now live, and let's just go real quick into it. Of course, the event has been live since last Friday, and it's now Monday, right? So it's pretty much on its way over now. By the time I'm recording this video, it's like 4 days old, right? So you know the drill with how these things go. There is a massive gacha, of course, that's the main thing about this event. There's new rewards to it, and the two big ones this time around are the dragon mount, which I talked about a long time ago. I did a video on it where we checked out the Japanese wiki and we found out this mount existed and it was going to be coming to the game eventually. I think it's now the first time that it's finally in the game for us here in the global servers. So let's read through what it's all about, right? It's going to be increasing global HP by 10%. Nothing crazy, usually attack would be better, but still good. Now, the effect is going to be deal 600% current basic attack AoE damage, okay, to an area every 10 seconds, and burn the targets, who will receive 40% current basic attack damage per second until the battle ends, stacking up 3 times. Alright, now you're gonna be gaining an additional 4% attack and defense and damage resistance until the battle ends, also stacking up 3 times, right? So not only you're going to be dealing a little bit of AoE damage as well as applying the burn, which is not bad whatsoever. 600% of current basic attack damage is pretty decent for us archers in particular, but also the scaling buffs to attack, defense and damage resistance are definitely very strong. They're probably the best part of the whole thing, right? Now, every 10 seconds, of course, casting once immediately after the battle starts. This might not be the best for PvP. As usual, you want to just have a front-loaded amount of effects or a very layered down kind of effects where your HP goes lower and then you get an effect happening. Nonetheless, I don't think this mount is too OP. Now, it does for sure look very damn cool. Look at that massive ass dragon with that animation, those flames coming out of it, those wings just flinging around. I love it. Nonetheless, yeah, maybe not the best effects, but 12% extra attack, defense and damage resistance altogether once you do get to max stacks is pretty damn strong, as well as the burn damage. If burn damage does actually go through defenses, which I'm not sure it does, it doesn't say it does, then yeah, the offensive side of things with just the burn effect might not be the greatest, right? So that is the mount side of things. We also have the back accessory, which I don't think I've covered before in this channel. Hold up. But yeah, there we go. We also have the global defense effect on this one, right? 10% extra defense. Again, not the greatest. You would rather have the attack. And then here we have the effect is each 5% missing HP grants a 40% chance of dealing AoE damage equal to 400% current skill damage, 160% current combo damage, 160% current counter damage, and 1% of the target's max HP, excuse me. Each 10% missing also grants 60% chance of dealing AoE damage equal to 600% skill damage, 240% current combo damage, also counter damage, and also, again, 1% of target's max HP. And then every 20, there's also another effect. There's a lot of stacking effects here. It's going to be granting 100% chance of dealing AoE damage equal to 1000% skill damage, 400 combo, 400 counter, and 2% targets max HP, right? So that one's always going to happen. Now, this you're going to be having have that happen 5 times. Of course, if you do die, I don't know, maybe that also procs and there's an extra chance or just having some sort of a tie, but the other ones have a 60% chance and a 40% chance. All those things together, this is actually quite a strong back accessory. Those damage bursts that you're going to be dealing, as well as the max HP, are nothing to shy upon. That's a lot of damage you're going to be doing, and of course it's going to be applying to any of the different types of damage that are good for you. And finally, on this event, we also have a costume, which is going to be looking, of course, different depending whether or not you are a male or a female or any other type of your looks to your class. Looks like the tiger. I'm assuming it's all about this whole like menagerie kind of thing. Soul Tamer Master. Looks alright. Let's quickly just go ahead and check out the effect on this one costume in particular. So we'll click on the right one if I can find it. There we go. No, actually it's not that one. Yeah, I'm not able to find it. Am I crazy right here? Give me a second. It's none of this. I think, okay, this is the one. It's actually global defense 1%, which is a little bit better than global HP. Nah, I think it's actually worse. I think global HP might just be better. Nonetheless, yeah, it's a little bit of a buff. It's all about the looks here with the costumes. Of course, the more you have, the more stacking buffs you will have. But that's the last thing of the event. Of course, there's going to be extra events coming with the new class coming out, which you'll just touch on right now. We'll talk about the new class. And we also have extra things coming together with this event. So yeah, that's pretty much what I want to be talking about on this new gacha event. Let's now move on to the new class. So the new class is finally live, as we've been discussing in this channel ever since a couple weeks ago. Actually, we knew from the Japanese wiki that it was going to be happening eventually, and it is now live in the game since like a couple days ago, maybe like a week now. But yeah, the class is basically called the Spirit Channeler, and of course, just like any other class in Legend of Mushroom, has two paths which build all the way up to being the Beastmaster and the Supreme Spirit, right? So if you don't know about this new class, the common thing that it has in between the two branches of it is that you're going to be able to have an extra PAL slot when playing this class. You're going to be able to have 6 PALs instead of only 5, as well as being able to boost some of the effects these PALs have, right? So you're also going to have, as a common thing for the whole class, increased PAL base attack, attack speed, as well as ignore evasion by 10%, right? So you're going to be able to boost your pals with the different skills that this class is going to have. This also actually already has. This also comes together with a change that was already in the game for a little while, which is that pals now have extra stats. They have a little bit more of a developed stat breakdown, as you can see right here. They have the crit, combo, ignore evasion, attack speed, crit damage, combo multiplier. They have all sorts of things. Before they only had I think it was damage multiplier and something else. It was a lot more bare bones, but now we can actually go the extra mile, and pals become a lot more impactful, especially when you build into them. There was also some changes to the game. I think the Ox mount was going to be changed, although I did check it out now before this video, and it's not yet implemented in the game. I'm not too sure if I read that incorrectly, but nonetheless, let's go through the classes real quick. I'm sure most of you have already checked them out, but yeah, this is what they really do, right? So of course they are going to be increasing the effects of your pals, and in particular in the case of the Beastmaster, we're going to be able to increase the pal crit rate by 25%, as well as increasing the pal damage multiplier by 20%, and finally pals are going to be dealing 4% more damage for every 10% missing HP. So there you go, a bunch of adding effects that you can get onto your pals. The stronger the pals, of course, the higher the level, the higher the tier, the better they are, the more these effects are going to be just playing together, right? So there's been some things put together in the game for a little while now that if you know about them, in particular, for example, things like the rush shop here, just the Hot Wheels here, increasing the pal attack speed by 2% per second. Things like this that have been in the game for a while now have a lot more value for specific classes, right? So in this case, a new class. Let's just go back here as well as, yeah, let's just check the actual special skill that we didn't read before. So of course, the active skill for the Beastmaster in this case is going to be dealing a bunch of AoE damage just like any other active skill, but then it's going to be increasing pal damage received by targets within the range by 40%, lasting for 8 seconds. Also, pals are going to be ignoring enemy evasion for 10 seconds, so your pals just become a lot more of a menace, are going to be dealing more damage. All in all, that's pretty much all there is to it. And then we have the Supreme Spirit, which has a little bit of a difference here. It's going to be enhancing the PAL deploy effects, so whatever effects they have, the usual thing we care about impulse, which is whatever effect they allow they provided to our class before, right? We knew all about that, like the cooldown reduction on the slime, or I don't know, something like the attack speed increase on the bird, stuff like that. It's going to be increased by 20% when you play this class. Then you're going to be gaining an extra effect based on the first 2 PAL races on the lineup, and we did cover this up in detail on the video we did about the new class. Depending on whatever race of the first 2 PAL slots you have selected, you're gonna be unlocking an extra effect. Now there is all sorts of these effects. As you can see that currently I would have these 2 effects unlocked based off of the PALs that I have selected, although I'm not playing that class, so of course these are not active. But I can see that, well, I could see here what there is in store if I wanted to choose, depending on what I think is best or what I want to just maximize. So yeah, this is a very versatile kind of skill, and you can get very good things out of it. For example, global attack increased by 50%, or actually 15, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Then we have another one which is going to be also unlocking extra effects based on the number of deployed piles belonging to a certain race. So the more of a certain race you have, as you are going to be unlocking those combos, as you have them active, you're going to be also unlocking these specific effects. So right now I would only have pile combo plus 10%, but again, there's a massive breakdown that we already discussed in the previous video, where, yeah, depending on however many of these different certain types of races of piles, you're going to be able to unlock any of those kinds of the skills. So yeah, let me just real quick show you that you can find the type of pal we are looking at here. Of course, it's like kitten, right? So snow pudding, you know what I mean? Like there's different tiers to them, but there's always going to be the same type of race. The slimes, in this case, I think they changed. This is the name, aggressive hydrosphere. Yeah, you know, hydrospheres are always the slimes. There's different types of them depending on the tier, right? So yeah, the races are kind of like bunched up together in those effect explanations. So if you're aiming to go for a specific type of effect coming out of that skill in that branch of that class, you're going to be able to do so through just finding out what kind of piles you want to be putting together. But of course, you got to consider which of the effects are really going to be beneficial to me, in particular for the class that I'm playing. And yeah, finally, let's just look at the active skill on this branch or specialization of this class. So of course, going to be dealing a bunch of AoE damage, also increasing pile damage received by the target in the range of 40% for 8 seconds, and also Pal's basic attack and combo is going to be gaining a 40% chance of dealing extra damage equal to 1% of the target's maximum HP for 8 seconds. So again, different forms and strengths are going to be ignoring evasion or just dealing max target's HP, right? So I'm not too sure which of these two is going to be the best. If you guys have kind of already experimented with some of these, you might know already. Nonetheless, let's move on to PvP real quick and let's try and find some people playing this spec. I'll do a little bit of a check, and if I do find some, I'll put it in the video right now. Otherwise, we'll go straight away to just looking at the ladder and seeing people playing this class and what they are building into. So out of the top 100 players of the servers that I'm matched with, right, that I could find in the cross server tab in the rankings section of the game, the only player that I could find playing any of the new classes is this one, ranked at 96, and I am ranked 119, as you can see down there. And they are playing a Beast Master, right? So this is what we can see without going into any other specifics or checking out their build, really, because we cannot see the skills or the pals they are playing. But we can see their stats and we can see a little bit of what they are going for, right? So we can click on compare, and as we can find, the main thing that they have a lot of is evasion. That's really what stands out to me, but you can get a lot of evasion from many ways. 65% is nothing crazy, but of course they have pretty low crit rate and combo, very low counter strike, very low stun. They have no regeneration, a little bit of ignore stun, but that's whatever. Pretty low ignore evasion, right? So where is their potential? Where is their damage, right? So if we go on to the bonuses here, the crit damage, the crit resistance, that's also Nothing crazy. Basic attack multiplier, basic attack that's also whatever, combo of course. We cannot expect anybody to have a lot of combo or counter when they're playing this, although they have a nice amount of counter. If we go a little bit down below here, here's where things should be a little bit more interesting, right? So pile damage, they do have a little bit more of, as well as pile damage resistance. And if we go down all the way to the bottom, we can just see that there is nothing crazy. Of course, all these HP attack and defense bonuses, they're nothing to do with the class. What we can see here is that we can see where the sources of these extra, what's it called, the pile damage that they have. Is there anything where it really shines that I don't have? Well, it's a statue, it's the souls, of course, they're building into this pile damage. They have more from their partner, from the deck, they have the same as I do, a little bit more from the mount that they are using. They just have the skin unlocked from the Pyre Breaker, so we cannot really know if that is the actual mount they're using. The Awakened Seal does have quite some that I don't have. And yeah, finally I do have an enchant here, which gives me a whole lot, but nonetheless they have some more coming from their back accessory as well as avian. So it's kind of hard to really get that pile damage to really be a lot higher. As you can see, I have quite a fair amount, even though I am not even building into it. I almost have like, what is it, 200% less. It's nothing crazy. And same kind of goes for the pile damage resistance, although I think that is also very whatever. It's only coming from enchants and the avian. So besides that, like, what else really is affecting their piles and they're really building to make it strong? I am a little bit clueless about it. Now, it might be very telling that a lot of people are not using this class, as I was able to find out by just scrolling here through the rankings. So it might just be a little bit underpowered still. It might be that people are just not yet aware of how to build it properly. Let me know if you got any good builds for this. Of course, I'll be investigating on my own and finding out good stuff about this class. Let's see if we can actually come up with a good build and switch to it. Of course, switching away from Archer, Plume Monarch, or Shadow Hunter, or whatever that one is actually called. It's going to be really damn hard. Most people are playing that, of course, still. That, of course, and then also mages and some warriors. But nonetheless, yep, that's pretty much all I got for you today, guys. A little bit disappointing that I wasn't really able to find a lot of people playing this new class in particular, being that I was pretty excited about it, shaking up the meta a little bit, but it doesn't really seem to be the case, at least just yet. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Now, before you go, as I mentioned before, I'm going to talk a little bit about Aptoide, just real quick, right? Of course, so if you don't know, guys, what Aptoide is, I've talked a lot about it, but it's basically just... let me actually find the store real quick. There we go. It's just like Google Play. You download apps from Aptoide, and once you do so and you play those apps, you download it through Aptoide, you're going to be able to earn bonuses when making these purchases, right? So let's picture I download Legend of Mushroom through Aptoide, and then when I'm going to be buying this pack in particular, for example, I'm going to be getting a bonus in the form of a cashback, depending on how much of a bonus I currently have unlocked, which I could then in turn be able to do the payments for me, right? So I'll be able to use those bonuses once I do have enough of them, which I do right now, to do the payment for me. For example, here in the form of the app coins credits, which those are the bonuses, I'm going to be able to use those to make the payment for me in the case of buying this pack, right? So you can scale this bonus by doing things like, for example, using my code, which is going to be down here. It's going to be increasing that bonus you get by a flat 5% forever. And then you will also need another app, which is the App Coins wallet. Again, there's going to be a whole guide down below. It's pretty damn simple to set up. There's going to be a guide explaining how to set the whole thing up on your Android device. It only works on Android devices, so on your Android phone, or an emulator for an Android device on your PC. So for example, like BlueStacks or Nox, you can use any you want. And here you will be able to see in this separate app, which again, it's part of the guide, which is the App Coins wallet. You're going to be able to get this one from Google Play. You're going to be able to see how much bonus you currently have unlocked, your purchase history, as well as here is going to be where you can input my promo code right there by clicking on the promo code section if it wants to load up. But yeah, basically you just type in that, just type the code. It's going to be down here as well as down the description, and that's going to be unlocking that extra 5% bonus, as you can see right there. You're also going to be able to see here how much more you need to be spending in any game. Basically, it works in any game you download through Aptoide in order to unlock that bonus to just be a little bit higher. So you can see a little bit here of a roadmap for what else you need to be doing to get to the next levels, as well as here there's going to be a collection of active events going on within the AppCoins wallet, which for a limited time will increase the bonuses you get in those games in particular for a flat 5 or even up to 10% for like usually it's 24 hours, right? So when doing purchases in those games, during that limited time, you're going to be able to get an even bigger bonus, right? So that's the whole thing. Basically, you just play the games like normal. You don't lose any progress. You just log back into Legendary Mushroom after you downloaded it through Aptoide, and you're going to be able to pick your progress right back up. Just link your account to Google or Facebook or whatever. Just log back into it as you link your account once you download the game again, and just keep playing like normal. Use those bonuses to just get yourself more stuff once you participate in any gacha events or whenever you're buying anything in any mobile game. It really just works very well. You get more value for your money. I've been using it for a long time, and of course, if you do use my code, you're going to be able to help me out a little bit, as well as help yourself out by getting an even bigger bonus flat, right? So that's pretty much all there is to it. Any questions, drop them down below in the comment section. I'll try to help you out. Let me know any stuff about the whole thing we discussed in this video, the new class, the new rewards, about this new event, or anything you might want to be commenting on. And yeah, pretty much, if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye, see ya.